Let's talk about order of operations. And order of operations is exactly what it sounds like. It is the order in which you do each mathematical operation. So mathematical operations fall into a couple of different categories. We've got grouping symbols. These are things like parentheses, brackets, that kind of thing. We have exponents or powers. That's our second group. We have properties of multiplication. This includes multiplication and division. And then finally, our last group is addition and subtraction. Now, you may be thinking whenever I say all this stuff that you know order of operations because you learned PEMDAS. And PEMDAS is a cute little acronym that a lot of teachers use to help you remember the order of operations. The P is for parentheses, E is for exponents, MD is multiplication, division, AS is addition and subtraction. Um, I hate PEMDAS. I hate it. And the reason I hate it is because when you write it out like this, PEMDAS, it gives you the impression that first you do multiplication and then you do division. And that is not the case. Multiplication and division go together. They happen at the same time. You multiply and divide from left to right. You don't do multiplication and then division. The same thing is true of addition and subtraction. You do not add and then subtract. Addition and subtraction happen at the same time from left to right. So I'm not a big fan of PEMDAS because I think it is misleading. Having the M and the D be separate letters and the A and the S be separate letters makes it seem like first you do one and then the other when they actually happen at the same time. So instead, what I recommend is that you follow a a four-step order of operations, four steps. And so the first thing that we're going to do with our order of operations is we're going to do all of our grouping symbols. Okay, so step number one is evaluate our grouping symbols. Evaluate all grouping symbols. And grouping symbols are things like parentheses or brackets, anything that groups them together. Okay, that's going to be step number one. Step number two is we're going to do all of our powers or exponents. Okay. Step three is going to be multiplication and division. Whoops. It's going to be multiplication and division. I don't know why that's suddenly at number five there. All right, there we go. We're just going to let it ride. No, the third step is we're going to do multiplication um, and or division, if I can spell here, from left to right. And then our final step is going to be addition and subtraction. Addition and or subtraction from left to right. Okay, so this is our order of operations. You know, I have no idea why it's not numbering correctly, but we're just going to live with it. We're evaluating them all. That's going to be just our first step is number three. Okay, so this is how I think you should do it. Grouping, powers, multiply, divide, and then addition and subtraction. So if you were going to rewrite this as something like PEMDAS, I would say do G for grouping, um, E for exponents, or you could do P for powers. Then multiply, divide, which I would just call it an M, multiply, divide, and then add, subtract. So GPMA, that's my new one. So let's put this into practice here with this problem. 16 minus 8 divided by 2 squared plus 14. So the first thing we look for is grouping symbols. This problem doesn't have any. It doesn't have any parentheses or brackets, so we can ignore that part. Second thing is all of our powers. And for powers, we do have one right here. We've got 2 to the second power. That means 2 times 2. So after our first step, we've got 16 minus 8 divided by, and then 2 to the second power is going to be 4. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 14. Okay, so now we have no more powers in this problem. We're ready to move on to multiplication and division. This problem only has division. There's no multiplication in here for us to worry about at all. So we're going to go ahead and do the division next. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So we've got 16 minus 2 plus 14. And now we're doing addition and subtraction, but we're doing them from left to right. So first we do subtraction because subtraction comes first when we read the problem. 16 minus 2 is 14. And then finally we do 14 plus 14, which is 28. There's something really instructive here about the importance of order of operations. Look at this very last step, and this would be the wrong way to do it. In fact, I'm going to write this in red crayon so you can see how wrong it is. 16 minus 2 plus 14. If I followed order of operations and I did the addition first, I would do 2 plus 14, which is 16. And then I would have 16 minus 16, which is 0. And this, of course, is wrong. So if I do not follow order of operations correctly, I'm going to get the wrong answer in a lot of cases. If I had done addition first and then subtraction, I would have had the wrong answer to this problem. So forget PEMDAS. Just remember grouping, powers, then multiply, divide, then add, subtract. And say them really fast together so it sounds like one thing, like multiply, divide, and add, subtract. We're doing those at the same time from left to right.